Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
What is up, full-time family? Where my day one hitters at? Alright, yo, let's get into this Q&A, 5,000 subscriber Q&A. Make this as quick as possible. There are, 41 comments. Alright, that ain't too much, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's going to be some questions along with some congratulations. So let's get straight to the point. First, I want to say thank all of you for commenting on this video, and as well as just hitting subscribe. We're at 5,000 now. Y'all remember, I know some of y'all remember when we were at like 100, bro. Like, that shit is fucking hilarious. Alright, let's get into this. Let me sort these by newest first, right? Alright. 10 hours ago, someone said 4,998 subscribers. 2 more to go. Congrats, brother. We're actually, last time I checked, 5,001. So, thank you very much. Whatever stops the tears. Slacker said, who is the most productive active legend in the UFC besides GSP? Anderson, Vitor, Shogun, BJ, or someone else? The most active legend, I would say Fabricio Verdun. That's who I would say. Fabricio's a legend in my book, and I think he's been more active than all of those guys you named. I mean, we saw him fight Walt Harris, come right back, fight Marcin Tybura. He just fought Alexander Volkov, which is the first one he lost. Before that, he fought Alistair. Before that, he lost his belt to Stipe. Fabricio was very active, not only for his age, but also as a legend. So that's my answer. MMA Vlogger Real Talk Forum said, congrats. Thank you very much. Slacker said, since you don't smoke anymore, do you drink? If so, what's your drink of choice? I drink occasionally. I don't drink on a nightly basis. Like, I'll get a 6-pack every now and then, and even then I'm not picky. It might be fucking Bud Light, it might be Mickey's, it might be Modelo, it might be Corona, fucking, I'm not too picky. And if it's not beer, it might be, you know what I'm saying, whatever I can afford. Usually some cheap shit, whether it's some Seagram, some E&J, some cheap shit usually. If I can't afford it, I mean, we'll go, you know, whatever we can afford, bro. Not too picky. Beggars can't be choosers. Slacker said, where did the Taco Bell Wani alias come from? What does it mean? It came from one of the trolls, like somebody in Felony's live stream. You know, there's a lot of people from another channel over there that be hating on me. They be trolling, but you know, you can't really troll me because I just play into it. So I actually liked that name, Taco Bell Wani, for one, because Ariel Helwani, Bell Wani, you know what I'm saying? Kind of got the cheeks. Taco? No, but just because Taco Bell Wani, I just think it's a really funny name. But that's where it came from. Actually, one of the trolls of the channel. Can you rap this, please? Bad and bougie. I'm fucking that bitch with a Uzi. My niggas are savage. Ruthless. We got 30s and 100 rounds too. You said we got hookers, strippers, and bitches. He changed it up on me. Bad and bougie. I'm fucking a bitch with an Uzi. My niggas are savage. We got hookers and strippers and bitches. I don't think that's how it goes, dog. MMA Vlogger Real Talk Forum. Do you think Tony and Khabib will ever fight? Do you think the UFC would even consider booking them? I think the UFC won't because it's like a gimmick joke prank. I do think they will fight because Dana White's been really unclear. It sounded like Tony Ferguson's actually going to be keeping his interim title. So if Khabib wins and he's the champion and Tony Ferguson is the interim, that fight happens. Unless Tony Ferguson is injured to the point where he gets stripped. Now, if Tony Ferguson gets stripped, maybe they don't book it, but at the same time, Dana White, who said that he would never book it again, also said the ship had sailed on GSP and Michael Bisping and other things Dana White said that's like, all right, well, the fans want it. So, I do think we might see it one last time, just because right now we're at 2-2. Hey, Khabib's pulled out twice, Tony Ferguson's pulled out twice. Fuck it, one more time. Whoever pulls out this time loses the fight. You know, if you're the one that pulls out the third time, fuck you just lose the fight by default. It should go in your record as an L. Like if we schedule these guys, Tony and Khabib, to meet one last time, if Khabib pulls out, Tony Ferguson gets a win over Khabib in his resume. Fuck that. So I think one last time we will actually see it. Also, like, if you look at it, like, this is 2018, Tony Ferguson pulled out. 2017, Khabib pulled out. 2016, Tony Ferguson pulled out. 2015, Khabib pulled out. So it's like literally been alternating year by year. So one last time, 2019, maybe even 2018, because Khabib's gonna probably do Ramadan and then come back to fighting. If he's not fighting Conor, he'll probably be fighting Tony. He's talked about wanting to fight GSP recently, but I do think they'll put it together one last time. MMA vlogger Real Talk Forum said, do you think it's dumb for Conor McGregor to think he's going to get paid the same as if he was fighting Floyd? Don't you think it's dumb? The only reason why Conor got paid so much is because it was Floyd, and boxing, UFC can't pay him $100 million per fight. Yeah, I don't think Conor's going to ever make as much $100 million in a UFC fight, as not in these days. Not until we get the TV revenue. You know, whenever all of that shit comes, whenever like the fucking, I don't even know if that's ever going to happen. You know, like in team sports, NBA, NFL and stuff, they get like 50% of the Fox money. They get a better percentage of the video game stuff. Like all of that stuff. Like if you added all of that together and the fighters were getting those type of benefits, then yeah, Conor might be able to actually make $100 million. But as of right now, unless you're talking about pay-per-view sales, and even then, I don't know if he's gonna break $100 million in the UFC. That's why Dana White was even laughing, like, $500 million to Anthony Joshua? Are you guys insane? What the fuck? No, even Floyd Mayweather, he's not gonna make. That's why I don't see Floyd coming to the UFC, because the UFC can't pay Floyd as much as he's worth. All he would have to be able to go off of really is sponsors and the UFC pay-per-view share. And oh, by the way, if Floyd's coming to the UFC, he's going to have to wear fucking Reebok? That's another thing I didn't even think about. You know, he's got like the Hublot sponsor and all of Pepsi, whoever the fuck. He's going to come over and we're going to get the Mayweather UFC Reebok kit? That's going to take away from his sponsors, and Reebok pays on a pay scale. If you fought 10 fights, you get paid more than a guy with 20 fights. But Floyd Mayweather's going to have 1 fight, so his Reebok check's going to be like this big compared to if he had like a Hublot sponsor. Nah, no. But as far as Conor McGregor, yeah, I don't think if he does think he's going to make that much money in one UFC fight, that would be dumb. But I haven't heard Conor McGregor say, yeah, next time I come back to the UFC, I need the same amount as I got for Floyd Mayweather. Nate G said, have you ever tried Flavor X vape pens? If not, you need to. I've always been too broke for vape pens. No, I ain't have vape pens, bro. Yeah, because then you gotta, once you get a vape pen, you gotta be able to fucking buy the shit that goes into it. And I'm broken than a sharecropper's assistant, so I ain't ever really got to dabble into that. I'm not against them. I would smoke the fuck out of a vape pen. If I had one right now, I would be smoking the fuck out of a vape pen, bro. The fuck out of it. I just don't have one. So, if there's any vape pen guys out there that want to sponsor me, send me a fucking vape pen and shit. Well, then I wouldn't have anything to put in it. Either way, yeah, I would like one, but I haven't tried it. But thanks for the suggestion. MMA vlogger Real Talk Forum said, if Rory McDonald couldn't knock out Robbie Lawler in 2 fights back-to-back, why would RDA be able to? Woodley beat up a washed-out Robbie. RDA beat up a recovered Lawler. If Rory McDonald couldn't knock out Robbie Lawler, why would RDA be able to? Yeah, I mean, well, Rory McDonald or RDA aren't necessarily known for their knockout power. Rory's more of, RDA, and he's a smaller guy. I see what you, I wouldn't say Woodley beat up a washed up Robbie. I don't think Woodley beat up a washed up Robbie. Whenever they were going into that fight, Robbie Lawler was the favorite. He was still looked at as the ruthless. It wasn't until he got knocked out people said he was washed up. And so, if he was washed up back then, how could he be recovered really versus RDA is my thought, because he just fought Cowboy. It's not like he took no damage in the Cowboy fight. That was a pretty close fight, actually. So, so your question is, why would he be able to knock him out? I don't know, just because some people think Lawler is probably washed up. So that's probably why they expected him to be knocked out. But it sounds like you are like a guy that's rooting for RDA. Man, you're going to need all the help you can get, because look, he's going against that boy Colby Covington, and that's not a great matchup. I'm sorry to tell a lot of people who want to see Colby Covington lose. He's going to be pretty big in there when it comes to RDA, I'm thinking, but hey, it is what it is. Troll Buster said, do you still have the list for the day ones? I sure do. Let me see if I can pull it up. I don't know. Oh yeah, that was my fucking rap. That was my fucking. Alright, let me see if I can pull it up. Open. Do I have it on this computer? That's the real question. I think it's on my laptop. Yeah, it's on my laptop. But yeah, I still have the list. It's on my laptop. I know some people have changed their name that was on that list. Some people are fucking gone. But yeah, I still got the list. Bo Archer said, full time, aka Taco Bell Wani has one of the best MMA channels on YouTube. Congratulations on your success, man. Sky's the limit. Thank you very much, Bo. Thank you. Royal Pain, congrats, big full time. I know you split, and I've been wondering who's your favorite artist and albums of all time are. Congrats, full time. I know you split. Oh, I know you spit. I was like, split. Okay, I know you spit, and I've been wondering who your favorite artists and albums of all time are. When I was growing up, it was fucking Eminem or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like Marshall Mathers LP, Slim Shady LP, all that type of shit. That was me. I used to buy like the lyric covers, you know, the album, the actual CD, like I got for my birthday, like the Eminem CD. It was edited. My aunt got it for me. But I remember like it had like the lyrics on the inside, and I like read the lyrics, and I would rewind the fucking music until I could get each line, and then go to the next one. Like, all right, boom, boom, boom. So it used to be Eminem. Fucking, if you want to be on some conscious motivational music, I'm fucking with Russ, Dizzy Wright. Lately I've been listening to a lot. But there's a lot of ignorant shit I fuck with, but you said my favorite of all time, though. I'm not gonna go into the fucking Trippie Reds and the fucking all of that crazy shit. I fuck with a lot of that stuff, too. Favorite of all time, I'll just go with Eminem, even though my opinion's changed as of late. So yeah. Eminem album, Marshall Mathers LP, Devil's Night from D12. That Devil's Night from D12 is crazy. That shit was fun. Yeah, so kind of put me on the spot. There's a couple answers. Just because, you know, I could really dive into that and talk about music for fucking ever, but I don't want to spend too much time on it. So, thank you, Royal Pain, for the question. Forward Thinking said, if you could select 2 fighters to go 1v1 just for the press conference alone, who you got? My choice, Dominic Cruz versus Nate Diaz or McGregor. Yeah, actually, I really like the choices not Nate Diaz. I don't really know why you would really want to see Dom versus Nate Diaz. I don't think Nate Diaz, you know, he's cool, but he's not really known for being like quick-witted. Like, Dominic Cruz, that's why you doodle-doom. I'm the boom-boom. I'll do this to you. You know, he'd probably just be like, hey, what up, Dominic Cruz, you motherfucker? You know, I don't know. But Dominic Cruz versus Conor McGregor is the one, though. To me, Dominic Cruz versus Conor McGregor is probably the one. Yeah, that's the one. That would be the best trash talk in my opinion. Like, I mean, you could. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't go the Chael Sonnen, Colby Covington route. I like Dominic Cruz, Conor McGregor. To me, that's the choice. That's my choice. UFC or Pride said 20 times Man United. Well, I didn't watch much Pride, so I gotta go with UFC. I've only been watching the UFC for like what, the last 8 years. I mean, casually, maybe a little longer, back when Rampage and Rashad and all of them were in their heyday, and you know, not Rashad, yeah, Rampage, the Chael Sonnens, the Anderson Silvas. That's when I was a real casual fan. So even then I didn't know shit about Pride, so I would have to go with UFC. And even now, I mean, maybe it's because I don't know why, but yeah, in Pride, couldn't you, like, I don't know, eye gouge, soccer kick in the fucking face? Isn't that the one where it was like no rules at all, fucking TRT tour type shit? Yeah, I don't know. I would probably like it. Yeah, I'm just gonna go UFC. Karate Kid said, congrats on 5K full-time. Keep doing your thing, bro. Thank you very much, Karate Kid. Will do. My boy, MMA from the Heartland, said, congrats, bro. I don't really have any questions right now, but to give you some praise. Hey, you have battled through adversity like a motherfucker. You're inspiring for sure. And not only that, you put in so much time and effort for a little return at this time. I hope you can branch from all this and get more big time with all these fighters seeing you and guys like Sugar Sean O'Malley saying good things about you. It's only a matter of time and you will have earned it all. Good luck this year, bro, because this is the year you're about to blow up. Day one hitter, A1 day one, fuck the other side, family affair, let's get it in this bitch. Thank you very much, Dan, my boy, MMA from the Heartland. Hey, yeah, fucking, who knows, man. Even I don't really see us like blowing up. We'll probably still be rocking out on YouTube for a while, but that's really cool with me. I don't really care about blowing up. I don't care about nothing. We got the family, man. As long as I'm able to like pay my rent and we can just keep making this channel cooler, I don't care what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can just talk MMA and do our thing and live our lives this way. Now, yeah, I don't, you know, I have been putting in like fucking 12-hour shifts and stuff like that, so maybe eventually I can get get that down to like 8 hours. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Thank you very much. But I don't got no expectations, man. Whatever happens, happens. And if it don't, it don't. We're still rocking. But thank you very much, dog. Yanking My Dandy Doodle said, if given the opportunity, what UFC fighter would you most like to toss in a wood chipper for fun? I know a lot of people would want me to say Colby Covington. No, I'm gonna give you an answer because I like this question. Who is there any UFC fighters? No, that nigga Cody Stamann just came in Sean O'Malley. What are you talking about? Fuck the other side. Put him in there. Nah. What UFC fighter would I want to put in a wood chipper? Bruh. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's gotta be out of Stamann. Just because he came at Sean O'Malley. No other reason. I can't think of anyone else. Fuck. Yeah, probably Cody Stamann. I don't really, there's not really any fighters I don't like. I mean, yeah, man. I just gotta go with Stamann because he came at Sean O'Malley. My bad, Cody. C-Level DC said, who are some fighters that you want to see fight? Who are some fighters you do want to see fight anymore or should stop? Oh, so I'm thinking you're saying, who are some fighters you don't want to see fight anymore or should stop? Anybody that's just fucking getting knocked out repeatedly, I guess. Like, shit. I mean, really, who's still going? I mean, maybe BJ Penn, unless he fights one more time in Hawaii, which is what he said. I'm probably not going to fight again, but if they come to Hawaii, I'll probably fight there. But yeah, yeah, I can't really think of anybody. I mean, you would go with the veterans that are on losing streaks, but hell, now you can't even do that because what? My boy Andre Arlovsky's on like a 2-fight winning streak, about to fight Tai Tuivasa at UFC 225, so you can't even go that way. I mean, the answer to the question, I would just have to think of somebody who's older that's probably losing by KO or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or slurring their words type stuff. Someone like that. Like, there's not really anybody I look at like, oh, what is he doing here? But yeah, so I would just say if fucking BJ Penn was on a 7-fight losing streak and he got knocked out 5 of those times, someone like that. But there's not really anybody that comes to mind like, man, I think that guy needs to stop fighting. But maybe you'll say someone that I can think of. There's just no one on the top of my head. C-Level DC. And also one thing I'm thinking, like, because whenever Andre Arlovsky was on a 5-fight losing streak, I might have said his name. But now he's on a 2-fight winning streak. And also, a lot of fighters don't really like, whenever you say they should retire or you think they should retire, because a fighter's going to retire when a fighter wants to retire. So if it was up to me, there's not someone I can just pinpoint and say he should retire. But I would just say if somebody's fucking taking too much damage and they're at the end of their career, a lot of fights, let's go on and call it a day. But if you don't have another opportunity, what the hell else are you going to do? You can look at somebody like a felony Charles Bennett, fucking 30 and 36, still scheduling fights. But he kind of has to, because if he wasn't scheduling a fight, what else would he be doing? You know what I'm saying? So you got to kind of have another option or you're going to probably keep fighting. So really, it don't even matter who I want to see stop. But somebody that's taking too much damage at the end of their fucking career, that's probably going to be fucking, you know what I'm saying, in a couple of years. C-Level DC said top 5 fighters of all time. Top 5, top 5, top 5. Anderson Silva, because he's one of the ones that really got me into the sport, man. It sucks that all the stuff that happened. We're not talking about pound for pound right now. We're not talking about greatest. We're talking about favorite. Whenever Anderson Silva, when he was doing his thing, getting out of the way and coming back and knocking guys out, just all the spectacular shit, Anderson Silva. Conor McGregor, you can't take anything away from what he's done for the sport. Got to be one of your favorite fighters. I mean, you might not like him for not defending a belt, but I love the fucking trash talk, the fights, the knockouts, the fucking, you know what I'm saying? He's taking the sport to a new level. This is, and yeah, it can be because the UFC's helping him, but still, with everything he's done, he's one of my favorite fighters. I mean, there's not really much you can take away. I mean, as far as like, you know, and maybe you don't like the trash talk, so you fuck Conor McGregor. He talks trash and he's not respectful and he doesn't defend the belt. Well, I like people like Chael Sonnen and Colby Covington and Dominic Cruz and all of these people that can talk some trash, because that's just who I am. So that's another thing on top of everything else. So the fucking Gucci Mink, Notorious, the fucking like everything. That's one of my favorite fighters as well. So Conor, Anderson, Sean O'Malley for sure. I mean, even before he was the first UFC fighter I ever interviewed, you guys saw I went fucking crazy. Like, yo, this kid's legit, got to do boom, boom, boom. But now he's easily one of my favorite fighters. That's 3. 2 more. Daniel Cormier, that's one of my favorite fighters. I think he's really underrated. I like him as a person. He's actually good with trash talk as well. Champion, undefeated at heavyweight. Only person he ever lost to was John Jones, who was kind of dirty. And I feel like Daniel Cormier is very underrated to arguably the best pound for pound of all time. Daniel Cormier, another favorite fighter. Maybe it's too early. It's probably too early. I mean, I like Valentina Shevchenko, but we're just talking about favorite fighters, like everything. Valentina Shevchenko's one. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that just really stands out. Because Valentina Shevchenko, she's one, but it's more of like, I think she's one of the best fighters. I don't really know much about her, like, but I just think she's one of the best. But we're talking about like, like favorites. So, I gave you 4. Dude, I'll just name off a couple. Valentina Shevchenko, Jessie Jess, Rose Clark, TJ Dillashaw, I fuck with pretty heavy. I like John Dodson. Demetrius Johnson is really fucking fading. I was big on Demetrius, but with Max Holloway stepping up short notice to fight Khabib, it really even kind of makes it look bad on DJ. Like, nigga, he's about to go up injured and fight Khabib. Like, he's not losing his belt. It's a win-win. So it makes me kind of look at DJ like, why the fuck don't you just go do? Everyone wants to see you go up. You're not going to lose your belt. After you go fucking do the super fight, go back down and defend your belt 1,000,000 times. Like, why the fuck? Like, that's really where I, like, and you know, I kind of understand where he was coming from. But with Max Holloway stepping up on short notice, injured, I'm like, all right, DJ, you kind of got to fucking bust a move, dog. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I've named a few, but Demetrius Johnson's kind of slipping. Been for a long time. Just want to say congrats, C-Level DC. Are you C-Level Kane? Like, are you the exact same one? Just changed your name? Just curious, because I remember C-Level Kane's been here forever, and I've seen you've been around like the same amount as him since he's kind of been gone. So I know there's also a lot of C-Levels. And there was like a fake C-Level Kane, right? And a real C-Level Kane. Are you the same guy or no? Just someone else? But C-Level DC said been around for a long time. Just want to say congrats. Thank you very much. Road to 10K. Let's fucking go. Dominic Nowick said top 5 hip hop albums of all time. Ooh, yeah, that's kind of tough. But I'd have to go with like Slim Shady LP, Devil's Night. No, not Slim Shady LP. Marshall Mathers LP, Devil's Night. One of them, Linkin Park. What was it? Hybrid Theory. That shit was crazy. That one's for sure one. Albums. I'm not a big album guy. I didn't really buy a lot of albums. I just got like one on my birthday, so like one a year maybe. But yeah, I didn't really get to buy a lot of albums as a kid. But so the ones that I actually heard, those were 3. I'll give you a top 3 and just go with those, because for me to like, I'd have to think of albums and I probably haven't heard the whole album. So yeah. If I bought more albums, I might be able to do that. But so there's 3. Fucking Marshall Mathers LP, Devil's Night from D12, and fucking Hybrid Theory from Linkin Park for sure. Would you rather get mauled by Khabib for 5 rounds or get hit by Francis Ngannou in the face? God damn, bro. Why you gotta go so hard? I wouldn't want either one of those. Fuck. I would probably go with the Francis Ngannou by the face for 1 time. Just get knocked out quick, wake up, not know anything happened, rather than get my fucking face tenderized and have to feel my fucking nose break and fucking eye orbitals break and all of that. Yeah, I'd rather just get it over quick. Boom. Dominic Noisick said, "What's your name and how old are you?" My name is Jordan, and I just turned 27, March 30th. I was born in 91, so yeah, I just turned 27, I think. I don't really keep track anymore. Gives a fuck. Nodab Drew said, top 5 current active fighters. Now we're talking about pound for pound. Okay, Daniel Cormier. I don't really consider GSP active. I'll put GSP up there because he might be coming back. Well, he's not active. He fought one time in like the last 4 years. Daniel Cormier, Stipe Miocic, just because he broke the record. I don't really. Anything can happen at heavyweight, but as of right now, who's beating Stipe? Alexander Volk. I mean, there's some guys that can get the fight going, but I can't think of anybody right now beating Stipe. So top 5 current: Stipe, Cormier. Kind of want to go Max Holloway, man. Especially with him taking this fight on short notice, but he had to pull out of his last fight. Fuck, this is kind of tough, dog. You gotta go Cyborg, though. I mean, just cause she's the best female, so I'll put her in the top 5 somewhere. Top 5, dog. Damn, these top 5s are hard on the spot because, you know, I know it's kind of, I feel like I'm in a time crunch. So we'll go Daniel Cormier, Demetrius Johnson. God, I just went over why Demetrius Johnson is slipping in my list, bro. Max Holloway's willing to step up. Fuck it. Max Holloway's taking this spot. Off with his head. DJ can't be on my list until he fights TJ. And it's looking like he's going to be fighting Cejudo again. So, you know, and I'm a guy with more respect on the flyweights. I got respect on the Henry Cejudos and the Joseph Benavidez's and the John Dodsons of the world. You know what I'm saying? I think the fact that Demetrius Johnson beat all of those guys means he's legit. But maybe some of those bantamweights, man, that's the thing about DJ. He's so fucking small. At bantamweight, there's guys, even at 135, there's guys that are way bigger than DJ. I really think Demetrius Johnson might be able to fight at 105 pounds. And if that's the case, man, even then, I don't know if you can put him up there because, like a lot of people say, how many fucking 105-pounders are walking around out there? You know what I'm saying? My fucking nephew, I don't know. So I got to take DJ off until he fights TJ. I'm not gonna fucking lie. And it's solely probably because Max Holloway stepping up to fight Khabib. So we'll give Max Holloway his spot for not only being on the 10 or 11 fight winning streak, beating Jose Aldo twice, beating Anthony Pettis, who came down and still missed weight, so he was kind of bigger. I'm gonna give Max Holloway, Daniel Cormier, Stipe Miocic, that's 3. I'll say Tyron Woodley. I mean, you know, just because GSP's not active, but even then, GSP's not coming back to fight Tyron Woodley. We've been talking about GSP Ben Askren, GSP Conor McGregor, GSP fucking Khabib. The only one we're not really talking about is Woodley, and I know a lot of people don't like Woodley, but it doesn't change the fact that he's fucking dominating one of the best divisions out there, welterweight. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, there's not really many people, if any, that can really beat him, aside from Tyron Woodley, who did a lot of damage to him in that first fight and then beat him in the second fight. So Woodley's up there, and he's on his way out of his prime, I think. Woodley's like 35, but as of right now, Tyron Woodley's one of the best fighters in the world. Maybe 2 years from now, he'll be surpassed. 1 year from now, he'll be surpassed. But I think as of today, the Tyron Woodley that beat Wonderboy twice and beat Damian Maia with one shoulder, even though it wasn't super exciting, I think he's one of the best active fighters. And speaking of active, he fought like 4 times, 4 title fights in 12 months. So we need one more. I've already said Cyborg. Maybe we just put Cyborg in the 5th spot. Demetrius Johnson is gone. It'd probably be better if I pulled up like the UFC pound for pound ranking list, because I'm probably free. TJ Dillashaw is another guy. He sounded like he was willing to go down to 125, but we didn't get to see it. So yeah, there's a lot of good ones. There's like a top 7 for you, so take 5 out of there. Hassan bin Hamu said, do you enjoy watching Khabib fight? I'm a big Khabib fan, and I used to hate Quick Bitch. I like how you respect all fighters. He's spec. Thank you very much. Fuck yeah, I like watching Khabib fight when he's fighting fucking like the Edson Barboza and the Michael Johnson fights. Before that, the Daryl Horcher fight. Didn't he get a finish in that fight, if I'm not mistaken? Daryl Horcher had to take the fight on short notice, and Tony Ferguson had to pull out. I remember that fight. Honestly, I think that was my first real fight. Like, Khabib was on my like radar when he fought Daryl Horcher. Like, I was still kind of like coming back into MMA hardcore back then. What was that? So that was probably what, 3-4 years ago. And so like I was like, okay, so this is this under, you know, because before that he was like injured for a while, so or whatever happened, Ramadan, whatever it was. But yeah, I mean, I like watching Khabib fight when he's fighting. It's just we don't get to see him all the time, you know what I'm saying? But when he's dominating guys and punching their face or talking during the fight, you know, I think he's getting a lot better at his trash talk as well, you know, as time goes on. Like, his last few press conferences have even been good, which helps build up the fight. Like, when he was going back and forth with Tony Ferguson during the media call, even Max Holloway, shit, Khabib was doing his thing versus both of them. We just had another press conference with Max Holloway, and he was like doing like the Darren Till thing, in my opinion. It was really confident, like, look, he's been fighting guys that are not like me. I'm about to smash this guy. If I were him, I wouldn't have took this fight, because I'm about to, it could be a bad night for him. So yeah, I fuck with Khabib pretty heavy at this point. Now, a lot of other people, you know what I'm saying, they might not, and it's different than wrestling. You know, it's not, you know, a lot of people say wrestlers are boring. You know, it's not all the time. You know, if you can have a wrestler that goes in there and he's really dominant, like, yeah, it's not the most exciting if it's just like a grappling, trying to hold a guy down. But if your guy landing ground and pound, that's entertaining. Now, just because I liked his last 2 fights doesn't mean he's 100%. His next fight's going to be entertaining. Hell, he might meet, if he fights an Eddie Alvarez, it might be harder to, you know, dominate the fight. So it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Fighters going to do what they have to do to win. Just because I do like watching him fight doesn't mean I'm saying 100% of his fights from the future are going to be the best fights in the world. But yeah, I like watching Khabib fight. Webb's PK Vid said, congrats, big full time. I missed the, oh, I gotta scroll down so y'all can see the question, huh? I missed the 4,000 milestone last time, so it's good I can get to ask now. My question would be, if weight wasn't an issue, who would you think would win a fight between Yoel and Khabib? And if Max wins on Saturday, who would you think would win in a match for the claim of the champ between Max and Conor at 155? Damn, I think Conor would win that, just because he's been the more natural lightweight as of recently. He won the first fight, kind of a good matchup. You know, you don't really got to worry about, I mean, Max might have, what, the cardio advantage going into the fight. It's not like Max is going to come there and try and, I think it's a good, kind of a good matchup for Conor. You know, a striker, he can really go in there and try and sleep or something like that. And he's got the first win. He's the more natural lightweight at this point, I think. I would have Conor in that fucking rematch. It would be an epic rematch. But hey, he would have to get through Khabib first. If Max Holloway gets through Khabib, it might change my mind. You know what I'm saying? If he can beat Khabib, it's like, whoa, what the fuck is going on with this Max Holloway kid? What the fuck is going on here? You know, like, did he really just be the first guy to finish Pettis, beat Aldo twice, 2 TKOs in the 3rd round, come up short notice, fucking 6 days injured, fight Khabib and win? Like, then you might have to look at it like, okay, maybe this guy can beat Conor. But at the same time, I think Conor right now has the advantage. So I would probably be a prisoner at the moment if I picked Holloway if he beat Khabib. So yeah, I'll go Conor. Now Khabib and Yoel, I don't really understand that question. Are you saying like if weight wasn't an issue? Are you saying if there was no weight classes? Or are you saying if Khabib, if they were the exact same size? If there were no weight classes, I got Yoel just because he's just way bigger. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Khabib is dominant, but it's not like he can just beat fucking welterweights and middleweights even. You know what I'm saying? All of those. It's not like Khabib can just go down and dominate Tyron Woodley or Ben Askren or fucking Yoel Romero just because he's so dominant. So if they were the exact same weight, you might give it to Khabib. He's got the cardio on his side, and he seems like he's been more dominant in his fights. But if you're just talking about 155 versus 185, I got Yoel. I'm him. 247 said, congrats on 5K full-time MMA, moving on up like the Jeffersons to the side. I don't even know if they to the top or to the east side, you know what I'm saying? I'm young for that. Either way, Jordan Walsh said, thoughts on today's pre-fight press conference? That was the one that I was just mentioned with Max Holloway and Khabib. I thought it was a good one. I thought Khabib held his own. Joanna and Rose, they're doing their thing, you know, just Rose being kind of quiet. Joanna's a little humbled. She's not talking that same trash. I noticed at the stare downs, Joanna did not have her she didn't have her shit touching Rose's face no more. She kept her motherfucking hands to herself. I'll tell you that much. Jordan Walsh said, thoughts on Garbrandt versus TJ2 being booked for UFC 227. My thoughts are, it's a banger. It's going to be a great fight. I know the UFC, I would think, not just the UFC, but Cody Garbrandt, a lot of fans want Cody Garbrandt to win this fight. And I say the UFC because it's like, TJ, we heard TJ saying he didn't really want Cody to get this immediate rematch, and it seemed like the UFC was really pushing Cody before. Kind of like we saw with Conor McGregor when he fought Nate Diaz. If he comes back in here and gets the win now, not only might we have a trilogy, but Cody Garbrandt, it's like, look, I came back, I should have beat him in the first fight. I had him. He got lucky in the second round, but, you know, it's kind of like he gets it back. If you get knocked out and you fight again, or if you lose and then you fight again and you win, it's like, okay, that could have been a fluke. So Cody Garbrandt's really getting a good opportunity in this fight. That also means, though, the Demetrius Johnson versus TJ fight's off, which is interesting. But yeah, so we'll talk about that a lot more in the future, I'm sure, because, you know, that's UFC 227 and 223 is like this weekend. But yeah, that's my first thoughts. Jordan Walsh said, favorite UFC event ever. 217 was pretty crazy because all the belts changed hands. But I don't know if that's the one. I mean, I think a lot of people kind of expected the GSP Bisping belts to change. Excuse me. But Rose was on that. Rose upset the world. That was the TJ Cody fight. Man, maybe that is the one. Because that TJ Cody fight was crazy. The Rose fight was like, oh my God. I think Wonderboy Masvidal was on that card. I mean, Wonderboy fights aren't the most exciting, but that was a fun fight. 217. What were some other big ones before that were pretty, or just not even just big ones? My favorite UFC events ever. I'll just go with 217 right now because, I mean, off the top of my head, I mean, you know, I'd have to sit here and really think, like, man, I don't want to just sit here and think on camera, like, probably get pretty boring. So I'll just say 217 as of now. 3 title fights, 3 titles changed hands, like Madison Square Garden on top, you know what I'm saying? Pretty big event. Crazy stuff happened that night, so I'll go with that. Next, my boy Eduardo Gonzalez said, do you have a girlfriend, bro? Yeah, I mean, could I call her a girlfriend or a fucking wife at this point? We're not married, but we've been together like what? Living together for 5, 6 years, 7 years. So yeah, girlfriend. I think common law wife is what they call it. We're common law married. Fuck it, but yeah, bro, I do. Jordan Walsh said, how does Khabib do against the top welterweights? He probably loses unless he has a good matchup. The thing is the size. Now, you know, people talk about, oh my God, Khabib fucking out wrestles Daniel Cormier and Luke Rockhold and Cain Velasquez, the heavyweights. No, he fucking doesn't. He might have scored a takedown on him, but they're not fighting him in there. They're probably just trying to defend the takedown. That doesn't mean he would be able to win a 5-round fight or a 3-round fight versus a legitimate fucking welterweight. You know what I'm saying? Now, yeah, Khabib, if he wanted to put on the weight or if he came in at welterweight, there's some guys he for sure could beat. But I would just point out the fight with fucking Gleison Tibau. Yeah, you know, Khabib won the fight, but it was a really hard fight. He wasn't even able to score 1 takedown. Why? Because Gleison Tibau was fucking so stocky, whether it's steroids or USADA. Gleison Tibau looked like he was fucking juiced up that fight, but the fact is, he was bigger that fight. You know, it's not like Khabib was just in there taking him down like a heavyweight or a middleweight. You know, it is what it is. That was a tough fight for Khabib versus Gleison Tibau, and that guy just was, because he was so built. So if you see another guy that's bigger than Khabib like that, it's going to be really hard to score takedowns over a 3-round process. You know, it's going to be, they're so much bigger. They're going to be putting their weight on you and tiring you out. It's just that much harder, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think Khabib can just dominate a welterweight. Even he himself said, you know, featherweight is more realistic for him than welterweight. He's like, I don't want to go up there and fight them big ass dudes. You know, like with a nutritionist now, he literally talked about going to featherweight and fighting Max Holloway or anybody at featherweight rather than 170. So I don't think Khabib does very well against the top welterweights, but I think he could you know, like be a journeyman at welterweight. Not even a journeyman, a top 10 guy, maybe top 15 guy. But he's not gonna. Unless he gets an immediate title fight and beats the champion, like Conor McGregor did. I don't see him going through like the top 5 to get to the title. Jordan Walsh said, how big of an upset will it be if Max wins on Saturday? He seemed damn confident today at the pre-fight press conference. I just don't see him winning. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. There's so much stacked against him, and more and more and more. I mean, the weight cut is going to be hard. The injury, the short notice, the style matchup. Like, he's literally going to have to come in here and Michael Bisping, Luke Rockhold. It's going to have to be exactly like that. Michael Bisping, Luke Rockhold. Everyone kind of expected Michael Bisping to get dominated in that fight, and he came in and knocked him out. Max Holloway's going to have to fucking spinning back kick, land a knee, some type of, you know, and featherweights have less strength than middleweights, you know, but we saw Rose knock out Joanna, so it's not like Khabib can't be knocked out by Max, but he's gonna have to, he's literally got a puncher's chance and not much more else. It's not like Max Holloway's known for choking guys out. It's not like he's known for attacking from the bottom. If Khabib takes him down, kind of like Edson Barboza or Michael Johnson, it's gonna be a bad night. But hope his puncher's chance is maybe he can clip him up on the way in. But yeah, if he wins, it'll be a huge upset. Jordan Walsh said, does Conor fight Max or Khabib after the fight this Saturday? Does he fight Max or Khabib? Well, he fights the winner, maybe. I mean, if that's what you're asking, like, if one of these guys loses, if Max loses, it's not Max. If Khabib loses, it's not Khabib. So out of those two guys, I would imagine who wins. Yeah, does Conor fight Max or Khabib after the fight? Oh, you're saying does he even fight any of them? Maybe. I don't think. My gut says no. Maybe he goes for the bigger money fights, the Floyd Mayweather, the Nate Diaz's, or the GSPs. But at the same time, maybe he does. Who knows? If Khabib wins, maybe we see Conor versus Khabib in Russia at UFC 228. If Max wins, yeah, he probably still could. So it's a possibility, but there's really no telling with Conor. But my gut instinct is Floyd Mayweather, Nate Diaz. Floyd Mayweather, because if you're not going to Floyd Mayweather now, when are you going to do it? When he's 44? Like, what the fuck? Who knows? But yeah, it's so hard to tell with Conor, bro. I think we might be close to the end of the comments. So with that being said, congrats on, okay, so I gotta fucking, let's go full screen. Alright, there we go. He says, congrats on 5K subs, said Jordan Walsh, thank you very much. Mr. Man said, if Max Holloway wins, where would that put him in the pound for pound list? That puts him probably right up there, number 1 or number 2. He's for sure above Demetrius Johnson. So since they've got Conor under DJ, that would put him at number 1. Max Holloway immediately goes to number 1 because, and maybe they put him at number 3. If they play Max Holloway, they'll put him at number 3. But he should be number 1. Cleared out the division, beat Aldo twice, came up, won the title, active. That's number 1. He's number 1 over Demetrius Johnson because Demetrius Johnson ain't going up. He's not even fighting TJ at this point. He's just fighting more flyweights. You're not pound for pound, you're just flyweight GOAT. But pound for pound, when you're talking about going up weight classes, if he can come up and beat Khabib, it's Max Holloway. You know what I'm saying? That, in my opinion. And then you've got Conor McGregor up there as well. Both of the champs. They can fight for the fucking real pound for pound. And then if Daniel Cormier beats Stipe, I think he jumps over both of them. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot going on. I think Daniel Cormier's pound, if he beats Stipe, he's pound for pound because he was undefeated at a weight class up, multiple fights, undefeated. He was kind of undefeated at 2 weight classes. Max Holloway would only have 1 fight at lightweight. Conor McGregor only 1 fight at lightweight. Daniel Cormier had 12 fights fucking at heavyweight, became champion. When he fights Stipe, will be the 13th fight. Fucking beat Gustafsson, beat Rumble, beat everybody else at light heavyweight except John Jones, who popped dirty. So this Saturday, Max Holloway wins, he becomes number 1, and then if DC wins at 226, he jumps Max. So yeah, that's where I'm at. There's one more question that's not popping up from my boy Patrick Cisneros that said, do you play Fortnite? Fuck yes, good sir. I was playing that this morning before I got on here. Actually, you know, before my brother went to work, I played a couple games with him. I got it on Xbox though, so yeah, I play Fortnite. Fortnite's the shit. With that being said, that was the last question. That's actually the first question, but we did this kind of backwards as far as reading is concerned. So thank you guys all for asking these questions. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. I am out. And as always, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell right next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOG.